Hello viewer. Sometimes we turn up and everything is lovely when we walk around the house. Sometimes you get a little surprise. You get a little pile of dust like this. That means that somewhere in this beam up above, somewhere in that crack there's a bug hiding. So at some stage today, I need to get some woodworm killer out and spray into that little cavity to try and stop that woodworm from eating my beam. Pesky little beast. All right, we'll have a look at that in a minute. Although having a wood burner is a really nice thing to have in the winter time when it's freezing outside, pretty chilly inside, that Godin Colonial right there kicks out 11 kilowatts and it heats up this room probably in about half an hour. Only problem is that when you get it up to the right heat, sometimes the thermal shock can actually break the glass. And here we have a broken pane of glass that needs to be replaced. But the problem can be that the screw heads that are here can sometimes be stripped. And in this instance, this one down here is stripped almost round, and that one up there is the same. So I don't know whether they've rusted in place or what, but I'm going to have to get a screw extractor in order to get rid of those screws, and I'll probably have to replace the screws. Now, I don't know whether these need to be special thermally protected screws or rust-proof, or I don't know what, but they're probably self-tapping because they go into cast iron. So that's something that I've got to consider doing. Now, buying this 4mm thick glass, which is very specially thermally treated or ceramic treated, so that it's safe to use at the heat that the fire gets to. I've gone and got myself a replacement piece, and it's not cheap. So that's going to have to be done today, probably. Show you that later. Right. So what we've got here is the door of the wood burner, which has got two screws which have been stripped and can't come out. And as you can see, they're holding the glass in place, so they need to come out. So what we have is a useful set of screw removal tools. If I could just hold on to them for a second, that'd be marvellous. So the first thing to do is to create a cavity in there which is round and ready for the screw extractor to go into. And because these are extractors, they work in reverse to the normal setting for the screwdriver. So when you set this going, you have it in the reverse setting so that when it catches, it's going to yank the screw out. The alternative is that it could actually tear the head of the screw straight off. If it does that, we put a drill in here, drill out the remainder of the metal, re-tap the hole so that it can then accept a fresh screw. Well, that did absolutely nothing. As did that. See if maybe a number 3 will make a difference. And there we go. So what happened is you create a socket on the back of it, and then this reverse thread, which is threaded in the opposite direction, goes into the hole, digs into the metal, and basically just tears it has a good grip and takes it straight out. So let's hopefully see if this one will work as well. Perfect. Getting it off of the screw extractor isn't that easy, but never mind, it did the job. So that is a screw extractor kit from Amazon with 5 different sizes for different sized screws. Right, so here we have, these are the little plates that hold the glass in place. The glass can now come out. We've got a fresh piece of glass here. Now that glass is against a bead of woven cord which is fireproof. Out of the 4 fixings, 2 of them did come out. So that's the 2 there. question is, do I reuse these old screws? Well, there's one which is actually relatively good, so I will use that. I have a very, very slim suspicion that the let's take that out again. We'll do it the other way up. Put the plate the other way up. Now there's a, as I say, there's a slim possibility that the other screws, the new screws which I bought, to hold this glass in position, there is a possibility that these will melt. I need to go and get a different screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver for that. Now, as I say, these screws are, although in France they're called vis poêlier. Poêlier doesn't mean poêle as in wood burning stove. It's a round head screw, so you can see that it's round in section. But hopefully it should fit into the threaded hole in the actual door here to hold this in place. Okay, so that's... Now obviously you want to tighten these enough so that the glass is pressed tightly against that bead of cord around the edge, so that it doesn't let any gases or stuff escape, smoke. But you don't want it screwed so tightly that it puts pressure on the glass, because if it puts undue pressure on the glass, like in a diagonal, then what will happen is when it gets heated, a stress fracture will crack across the front of the glass, and that's exactly what happened with these. So I think it's just a standard part of living with a wood burner that you're going to replace the glass periodically. Now the glass itself is not just any old glass, it's not even just any old heat treated glass. It is, this particular one is from Stevenage Glass, which is where I bought it from, and it's a ceramic treated glass. So yes, you can get heat treated glass which has been annealed and is able to cope with the heat, but this is actually a different glass. It's got a ceramic element to it, and therefore it can heat up to, I think it's something like 350 degrees centigrade. So that is the job done. I've got one more of these bright silver new bolts and one rather almost stripped old bolt or machine screw. So I will put this, that's not going anywhere, I'll put this door back in its cardboard sleeve, take that back to France. Thanks a lot, folks. See you again soon.